Alright y'all, so I finished priming the boards, sanding them all the way down, and now it comes time to rip out everything in the window casing, at least what was there before. Alright, so now that we've taken the drywall all out, we're back to the regular jamb. So what you want to do now is measure for the jambs for the inside before you put the casing on. So what I did here is I put a couple boards together to mimic my jamb and the casing. I have a 1/2 inch reveal. The reveal is what you could see. Now you can do a 1/4 inch reveal if you want. It's up to you. So once you put the reveal or the board up, now on the window frame itself, you can come out 1/2 inch if you want. Alright, so now that I got my boards cut, one thing you need to realize is, so the boards that I have are 1x4s, which is actually 3.5 inches. So the board is too wide for it to come in here. And I'll show you exactly what I mean. So I can't just take the 1x3.5 and stick it out, because see, look, it's way too wide. So I need to cut it down. In order to cut it down, all you have to do, you take your tape measure, you take your board, stick on the outside of the wall, bring your tape measure all the way into the window, and see what your measurement is. That's 3 1/16. So all you have to do, take 3 1/16. Three and 1/16, which is right there. Take your pencil. I'm gonna take my mark. Okay, go to your table saw. You can mark 3 1/16 on it as well, and then rip that board all the way down. Okay, make sure rip down the side that is not as good. So whichever side is much better, like on this one, if I were to use this is a much nicer a side than this one, so I'm gonna rip this side off. Okay, just take in consideration that. All right, so I've got my windowsill cut as well. Now, in order to know how much to cut off, okay, what you need to do is, again, I already know this is 3 1/16 from here to the outside, but how far from here out? Well, I already know that my board is going to finish right here. I'm going to get 1 inch past that. So if I measure from the door jamb here out, so from here to the line is going to be 3 1/8. Okay, I'm going to add 1 inch to that, so it'd be 4 1/8, right? So you got your board. Let's just say this was the windowsill. Okay, so all you're going to do is you're going to take 4 1/8. Okay, 4 1/8, which would be right there. Make your mark. Now remember, I'm only coming up 3 1/16. So if this is the board right here, I'm recessing it in. I'm only going in 3 1/16 of an inch. Okay, so if I go in 3 1/16, I'm going to make my mark at 3 1/16, which would be right here. Okay, now before I just take my line and measure it, I have to make sure my wall is straight. In order to do that, I took my combination square. I have a bigger one. I just took the metal piece out of it. Okay, I'm going to put my board, just any board, just a board in there, and then I'm going to take this all the way to the wall. Okay, and I want to bring it all the way out, at least to the 3 1 or the 4 1/8. Okay, after I do that, make sure it's all sit nice and straight in there. Make sure I'm not like bending it over. So I got all my pressure right here against the wall. Now I'm going to take my pencil. I want to make my mark. Okay, so I got my mark there. Now, what I have here is this kind of like an angle finder to see what the angle is. I'm going to bring this, I tighten it up, okay? I'm just going to take this, I'm going to bring it right up to the bottom of the line there. which is right there. And I'm going to move this to match the line, which is right there. Okay. Now, as you can see, you would think that would be exactly 90 degrees, but it's not. That's why I say it's good to do this so you don't have to have a gap. Because if it's just, let's say it's 1/8 of an inch. If you cut this board right at 90 degrees, okay, it'll be 90 degrees here, but because the wall, it might be 1/8 of an inch off here. And I'll show you so, I don't know if you can see this or not, but you see the gap in there? So that's why you want to do it that way. So then when you go to your board, okay, you take your measurement, you come out. Okay, if this was your, again, if this was your windowsill, you come out 4 1/8. You come in out just to the corner, 3 1/16. Then you take this, and what you want to do is you want to come all the way up, take the edge of this to the 3 1/16. Hold it, and then you want to draw your line, because then you'll have the exact angle of the wall. Okay, and then once you get that, you cut it out, and you're going to do the exact same thing on that side. Same thing. You put your board right up. You're going to take your ruler, basically, put it right up to the wall, just like so, and you're going to make your mark. That's your line. You're going to do the same thing. This one's actually even more drastic. You can see, goes up, and you go up a little more. Not too much. Right there. So let's see how far this one's out. So this is 90 degrees. Still about the same, about 1/16 of an inch. So that's how you cut these out exactly to the wall. Okay. So let me go finish doing that, and then I'll come right back after I finish cutting all those pieces out. All right, now that I cut all the pieces, I'm going to go ahead and install them. As you can see, this board right here, just like I told you of how to do it, I took the same thing. I cut 3 1/16 out, 4 1/8. Same thing on both sides, and then it fits exactly right in there. As you can see, it's always snug against the window itself, and it fits snug right against the wall as well. All right, and as you can see where my line is, if my board comes down, it'll come down right where that line is, come out right there. All right, now that I have all the boards cut, I'm going to go ahead and nail them in, put them into place. Now, if you want, one thing I did, because if you take this board and you bring it all the way in, you have 1/8 of an inch gap there. So what I did is I took some of these same boards and I just cut 1/8 of an inch spacers or shims. Now you have to make sure, I cut these at 3 inches because my board here is 3 1/16. So as you can see here with the 3-inch spacer, I still have about roughly 1/8 of an inch to 1/16, just so when I put the other board it won't touch it at all. So that's what I did there. Alright, but I'm going to go ahead and put all these up. If you are doing this above a window on the countertop, please be very careful. If you need to get up on a ladder, you're higher off the ground, and you don't want to take any chances of falling over. If you're not comfortable with getting on top of the counter like this, then you can get a bigger ladder and you can stand up on the ladder and do this as well. I'm comfortable with doing this. I'm not afraid of heights or anything like that, so it doesn't bother me, but just make sure you know your limitations, make sure you're careful and you're safe. All right, so far that's how you do the inside. Like I said, with those shims, that really helped out a lot. I don't know if you can see, but there's my pencil line around the edge on both sides, all the way at the top. Now I did not put any spacers on the top. I didn't need to do that because that was perfectly right about 3/4 of an inch. Only the sides we had 7/8 of an inch, so I had to add 1/8 of a shim. Now for you, if it's 1/4 of an inch, cut 1/4 inch shim. If it's 1/16 of an inch, that might be a little bit hard, but you could try and cut a 3/4 inch shim, or they do sell like a little piece of cardboard. You could do that. Just cut a piece of cardboard, stick it in there, because that will smash. But at least that'll help. Usually cardboard's roughly 1/8 of an inch to 3/16, something like that. All right, so now what I'm going to do is go ahead and finish measuring the pieces here, and then cut them, and I'll put those in as well. Now again, what I'm going to do there is, because right at the top, I'm going to be putting a board. Now this is not the board, but I'm going to be putting one at the top here. So remember, I have a 1/2 inch reveal. So I'm going to measure a 1/2 inch here. Okay, that's where it's going to be. And basically, so my boards are coming up from the 1/2 inch reveal over 3 1/16. Okay, so as I come up here, which is my mark right here, 3 1/16 right there. So I'll measure the same thing here, measure from there to there, and that's what I'll be cutting my, I believe it's called a style. I could be wrong with the name of that. I just call it casing. I don't know all the terminology for all the boards, but basically my outer trim for the casing. So I have the side, the 2 side pieces, and the top. So the top, basically I'll cut from this mark to that mark. That's how wide it will be. From the bottom pieces, it'll be from here up to a 1/2 inch. Just take my tape measure. I'll measure from the bottom of my sill up to that line, which I'm right at 34 13/16. 34 13/16. See what I'm at on this side. I'm going to be right at 34 3/4. 34 3/4. Okay, so it's 16th of an inch off. So basically, that's what you want to make sure you want to do. Cut the 2 side pieces. This top piece is going to be from that line to this line. Looks like 42.5. All right. So let me go and cut those pieces, and then I'll come right back and I'll show you how to install those. All right. So now that I've finished getting all the pieces together, I'll get them all cut, all the sides. So now what I'm going to do now is just going to nail them up there, and then also I've got another piece that I'm putting together right now. I've got it gluing and put some nails in it just for a little decorative piece on the top. All right. Now, so don't forget, when you're putting the pieces up here, I took my combination square, I brought it in a 1/2 inch for the reveal that I want. I put a pencil mark, and I did that all the way around. One on the bottom, one on the top, so you know exactly where your line needs to be. So you nail one, then put the other one up to the other line, and then nail it as well. just like so. I'm gonna be careful when you nail these. You don't get too close to the edge. I did that right here, and it just cracked a little bit. It's okay, it's not that bad. Just put a little wood glue in there, and I'll put a little clamp on it, and bring it back together, and it'll be fine. Plus, once I put some wood putty over it, it'll be fine as well. You just want to be careful, don't make the same mistake I did. There actually is a stud back here, so remember you can nail into that. You don't necessarily have to nail into this board right here. And I'll go ahead and get my other piece, and I'll put that up there, and I'll show you what to do there. Alright, now I'm finished with the decorative piece, which just took a piece of molding you can see right here. And I just took my 1x4 and then just glued it, put some staples on it. I'm going to put this toward the top. Alright y'all, thank you for following on the video. All I have to do now is put some premium wood filler on made by DAP, and then we'll put that on there, sand it down, and paint it. If you have any comments or questions on what I did, please put them in the comment section below. And if you'd like to check out a few of my other videos, you can find them either right here or right over here. If you saw something that you liked, please subscribe to the channel and also hit the like button.